skaters, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today I am going to be teaching flip jumps. I know a number of you have been asking for it, and I'm finally getting to it, so I hope you enjoy this one. Now for this jump, you are going to need to know how to do a half flip. That half flip jump is the intro, is the steps leading up to the whole jump. So I will post a link to that half flip tutorial down below so you can get used to how this jump entry goes. If you already know that half flip though, it's time to learn the whole flip. Now just for reference sake, I usually teach this jump after my students have already been able to land a waltz jump, a salchow, a toe loop, and a loop. So it's usually the fifth jump that I teach. So if you were just getting into whole rotation jumps, this might not be the first one you want to learn, okay? So think of it in that sequence: waltz jump, salchow, toe loop, loop, and then flip. And I can post those in that order, those links down below as well. So you can work your way through this up until you get to this jump. But let's get started with the flip. So we're going to start with the most traditional entry, and that is with a 3-turn. You can also learn it with a mohawk, but most people do it with a 3-turn because it does tend to be a little bit more powerful. So since I'm right-handed, I'm going to demonstrate this rotating counterclockwise. That's the way I prefer to rotate. If you prefer to rotate clockwise or you're left-handed and that's the way you generally rotate better, you're going to want to reverse all of these directions. Okay, so I'm going to start with that left forward outside 3-turn. I'm going to do this on a line so you can kind of see how straight I want you to do this. If the entry gets really loopy and round, you're going to have a hard time controlling the jump. So I have my right hand in front, left hand in back, and I'm going to do a left forward outside 3-turn. That's a very traditional position for a 3-turn. Okay, so we're going to 3-turn and check. Now that puts my left hand in front, my right hand in back, and my right leg extended out behind me, and I'm on my left back inside edge. It's a very shallow edge, okay? I want it fairly straight. If you get really deep onto that inside edge, as I said, it's going to be challenging to control this jump. So from here, you're going to tap, you're going to slide your left foot back and rotate in a backspin position in the air. It's impossible to demonstrate it this slowly. I'm going to have to do it with some speed in a minute. But that flip jump is going to be a left forward outside 3-turn, reach straight back as far as you can, tap, and you're going to pull into a backspin position in the air. Going into a full flip, you're going to want to go into it with as much speed as you can handle and still control the jump. It's really challenging though to step into a left forward outside 3-turn from speed. If you're skating straight down the ice, which is how we usually set up for this jump, and then you suddenly have to step into a 3-turn, it's a really awkward motion. So we like to do it from a little entrance that I'm going to teach you. So we have this line here. And what I'm going to do is a big left forward inside edge. And when I get back to the line, I'm going to use my right toe to give myself a little push, and then I can switch to my 3-turn. Okay? Now I did it kind of large and swoopy here. I don't want that too swoopy, but I want you to see the shape. So going inside edge, use my toe, and I'm going to push into my outside 3-turn. All right, so that edge helps you get into that jump with speed and not have that 3-turn a really awkward shape. So you can be, barreling down the ice, and then you can step into that edge, and I like to use that moment to focus and get ready for my jump, and then push and set up for that jump. All right, so that little entrance, inside edge, outside 3-turn. To make this jump take flight, you will want to have a similar feeling to a loop jump, which you should have learned before the flip. From your entrance, you're going to reach back behind you and tap your right toe into the ice. You will then draw your body backwards towards your right side as you do with a loop jump. Your left gliding leg will push up off the ice, and you'll pivot off the right toe as you take off. I will often tell my students as they are learning this jump to imagine that they are tapping into a loop jump, and as long as you take off of the toe pick and not the entire blade, then that concept works to land this flip jump. When you tap for this flip jump, make sure you're tapping straight into the ice, not with your foot turned out at an angle. This is going to give you much better grip as you jump off the ice. After rotating, you will land back on your right leg, which is the one you tapped with. You will land backwards on the outside edge in a strong checked position, as you do with all fully rotating jumps. So now you understand the basic motion of a flip jump. Left forward outside, 3 turn, tap into a backspin position. There's some very fine details I want you to understand. I've already mentioned that we don't want it to curve, really. We want it to be fairly straight. You can think about going forward and flipping backwards, so you're in a really straight line. I like to use the big hockey lines that divide up our ice rinks as like a diving board, okay, or balance beam. And you're going to do this pattern down that little balance beam. So using this blue line, I want you to practice trying to stay on that line through your whole motion. Okay, now obviously the jump is going to move off, but the 3 turn, the entrance, we're going to try to keep it right on that line, okay? So we're going to skate forward, on the line, push through, on the line, and then we can exit the line on the landing, all right? So if you work on that jump on a line like this, you're gonna have a very straight, very controlled flip, and that's gonna help you generate more power and speed. If you do it very curved, your jump is gonna get really wild. So if your edge is really curved, 3 turns really curved, you're gonna end up tapping really wide. You're doing practically a back pivot into your flip jump, and it ends up a mess and very difficult to actually get enough rotation to land backwards. Okay, so when you tap, make sure everything's on that diving board. Okay, your hands are on that diving board, your foot's on the diving board, and you're tapping right back behind you on that diving board. If you tap off the diving board, no go. Okay, so let yourself work on it on a line and try to get used to tapping straight behind yourself, okay? That's one of my really big pointers, is not tapping to the side, but tapping behind. Another thing we want to think about is our legs closing like scissors as we take off. Any tapped jump, the tap is just a catalyst to change our motion from going backwards to up, okay? So if your energy is going back and you tap, and that tap is just trying to send it up, okay? So you don't want to tap really heavy down into the ice and then trying to jump. You want to tap behind and send that energy up. And part of the way we do that is closing our legs like we're shutting a pair of scissors. Okay, so if you reach back and tap, your legs should close into those scissors as you take off, okay? If you're not closing like scissors, but you're tapping wide and pivoting, you know something's wrong. Maybe take some videos of yourself and check and see how your legs are closing. For a lot of people, when they work on their flip, their jump gets out of control because their 3 turn is whipped or out of control. So I've talked about trying to keep that 3 turn really straight, skating on that diving board, that kind of an idea. But for so many people, their 3 turns are really whipped, and that's a whole challenge to fix in and of itself. So if you're having a hard time with a really whipped 3 turn, another entry that you can do is from a mohawk, and that will usually straighten your flip jump out quite a bit. So what we're going to do for that is step forward with our right forward inside edge. Okay, right forward inside. Now we're going to do a mohawk, and that's going to still put us on that left back inside edge. Okay, so it ends the same way you would with a 3 turn. So a 3 turn is going to end on that left back inside edge, and a right mohawk is going to end on that same edge. So right inside, left back inside, and then we can move on to do that flip jump. What you want to do with that mohawk, again, is try to keep it very, very straight and not really deeply curved, okay? So going back to our diving board, if you're going to do a flip jump from a mohawk, we still need to keep it very straight. Okay, so we're going to skate into it, right, left, flip. You want to keep those edges as straight as possible. But if you're struggling with a whipped 3 turn into your flip jump, the mohawk can help fix that. I also want to talk to you about the body position that you want to achieve in the air. Okay, so we want to have a very tall, strong body position over the right side if you're right-handed. Okay, so you're rotating over that right side. Now, if you're not trying to do a double or a triple, you can be somewhat open, but it still needs to be over that right side. So there's a little exercise I'm going to give you that you can work on. So we're going to go around the hockey circle. This is the same as if you're working on backward backspins. Okay, I have the same tutorial on that. We're going to stand on our right foot, cross our left leg, cross our hands over our right side. So this is your basic air position for a loop jump, flip jump, Lutz, axel, all of those. They'll rotate in the air like a backspin. So you can practice this position. Want your hips tucked under, your abs strong, and all your weight strong on your right side, okay? So you can practice this air position, practice having control over it, engaging your core, lifting up through the hips. Then when we apply it to the jump, I want you to think about from that tap, okay, your back being very straight, your arms out, and pulling everything straight up into that backspin position. So you're not leaning over in the hips, okay? Because then when you land, your back's gonna collapse forward. So you want to have strong back, go straight up into the air. That will allow you to land very straight as well. Think about popping those hips under you as you take off. Strong hips, body up nice and tall, engage that core, okay? So in the air, you want to make the longest, strongest position over that right side you possibly can, okay? So we set up and really tall and straight in the air. Get those hips under you. It's going to help solve a lot of problems. All right, skaters, I hope you enjoyed that flip jump tutorial. I know a lot of you have been asking for it, so here it is. If you enjoyed it, please do give us that thumbs up. And as always, I look forward to reading all your comments in the section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell down in the corner so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating, and I'll see you next time.